Alright, guys, I'm going to chime in on the moms are crashing out online after admitting that they regret being moms. Starring my middle child, Ari. You may not be able to see him, but he's here. Say hi.
Hi.
Anyway, let's just do this, okay? Why is it so difficult for us? Because, it just is. Like, in the past, like, parents didn't have the social media, so like it's always been hard. Like, I remember some of my earlier memories as a kid is like relatives of mine who were new moms and they're just like having meltdowns and breakdowns. So have I? Maybe once. Maybe once. I think like my first child, I have three. First child, first time mom, I had a breakdown, a little breakdown, it was like, it's really hard for me. I developed a really good sense of humor. I'm a big kid. I lean into parenting. But also like I don't give into societal pressures. Like I'm an alternative mom, so like I do things that aren't conventional. Like I parent in a very unconventional way. So it makes parenting a bit easier because what the certain things that people want to uphold, society like isn't supporting traditional households. So like I have support, and I live in a state where there's more support for moms, and I have a partner here, and my two youngest are his, but my oldest is from my previous marriage. But nevertheless, it's a struggle. Like today, like I woke up and the baby ripped his diaper off, threw it, like ripped it up in pieces, smeared a little on his face, threw up, and then one of the kids. No, the baby had a like blowout, and then my 2-year-old decided that he was going to play with his lunch. But I have a like sense of humor about like I don't know. I love kids. I love kids. I love my childhood. Things get chaotic. I have a good sense of humor. It makes life a little bit better. But I don't know. I think that a lot of women who go into being mothers, number one, have no flipping idea what to expect. When I was a young adult, I'll be 40 in 4 years, so I'm like obviously like late 30s, mid 30s, late 30s, whatever. Anyway, when I was in my 20s, my mother adopted 2 young boys who were in diapers, and I got a lot of hands-on experience of all the chaos that I would eventually know myself. So it made things easier for me. And I feel like a lot of people don't talk about the chaos. Boomers, I hate being like, boomers are weird, but no one from that generation that I know personally, other than my grandmother, spoke about the chaos, like, and the mental, emotional, diabolical, like, things that go on in your head from everything. Over sensation, overstimulation, hormones, and then no life. Like, no life that I guess people would want. I don't know. See, for me, I can't sit here and be like, I don't have a life. I have a life. I have a life. I have wrinkles. I have gray hair, but I have a life. I have kids that I love, and I have a place that I like, and I'm not delusional. It's just that I think the idea of motherhood and what was sold to a lot of young women, and what older people have like and what we see, like the performance, femininity, and all of the, you know, dressing the little baby up in the frilly outfits and walking around with your little baby, and it's just looking all glamorous, and nobody's like shitting on themselves and throwing up in your face. Like, that's a load of bullshit. And I think that a lot of women, especially ones who are crashing out, I think a lot of them kind of were sold a very false idea of motherhood. But I also feel like, because we don't know what our mothers were going through. Like, I don't remember when I was 6 months, okay? Like, I don't know. And unfortunately, a lot of older women don't talk about it. Maybe they blacked it out. Maybe it was so traumatic they don't want to talk about it. I don't know all of it. All I can say is that because my expectations were like what they were about parenting, there was very little what the F moments, and more like, now this is happening. I was expecting it. So if we could educate each other and have more truthful conversations about this experience, then you wouldn't have so many mothers crashing out. You still will have some, because this is not an easy thing. But why do we sign up for it? Ari! Hold on, I have my 2-year-old middle child. Oh, okay. Are you okay? Sometimes he locks himself in closets and rooms. He did it actually not too long ago, and he's freaking out. Anyway, I got him out, but still. Not something I really was expecting. Sometimes things happen when you're a parent that you just don't expect, and you just have to be like really like good on your feet and quick thinking and non-reactionary, and that can be hard for women, especially when you have a baby, especially if you're pregnant with a small child and overstimulated already. So I understand the crashing out. Less of it would happen if we had more truthful conversations and a better understanding of what we're getting ourselves into. I feel like I had that, and a lot of women that are my age and younger who are moms don't have that. And that's why they're freaking out and like, I don't want this, I resent this, I hate this. And then there's also like societal pressure to like have kids, and then they just have the kids, and then like their asshole like parents who are now grandparents are like, girl, you thought I was gonna be watching your kids? No, I'm on vacation. And so like that sucks, but yeah, like that's a thing. So prepare for that. And it's kind of hard to like, it is hard to prepare for everything, and so much stuff is put on women. So I can see why moms are crashing out yet again. Like, I can see why you're crashing out. I can see it. I can understand it. I'm living. I'm a mom. But we have to address the lack of understanding and education. Like, that's a big thing. That's number one. I think number two is societal pressure, and learning how to just say fuck you, society, and your fucking opinions, and my kids are alive. Like, sometimes you just have to be like, my kids are alive. And so that's it, you know. I'm not going to beat myself up because my kid decided to take a big ass chunk of soap and swallow it, or eat some pennies, or, you know, stick a bead up his or her nose, or take a nail and drill it into his sibling's leg. Like, these are crazy things, but it happens. But like, your kids are alive. They're alive, they're breathing, they're healthy. Something happens, you take them to the ER. People are going to judge you because people are assholes. And then your kids get a Band-Aid and some stitches, and now they got a really cool story, and you go about your life. Unfortunately, a lot of people are dedicated to like making it hard for you to move on from something that happened that was kind of out of your control. Like, you're human. Moms, we're human. Okay, so like, you know what I'm saying? So, the things that I see dads do, if a woman did it, it would be like bad mom. Like, I've seen at least 4 men drive convertibles with their infant in the front seat with the car seat facing the wrong way, blasting music and just enjoying their life, and like no one was like terrible, or very few people. I just laughed it off. So yeah, a lot of societal pressure. So number one, lack of education, unrealistic expectations on how your experience as a mom is going to be. That's number one. Number two, lack of support. And what was the other thing? Just, little support, lots of expectations on moms, lots of societal pressure. That's number two. And then I would say number three is people just not really wanting to be moms. There are some women who are like, yeah, I thought that I wanted to be a mother, and then I became a mom, and now I don't want to be a mom. That's a real thing. Like, some people change. But this is a permanent, this is a permanent thing. And so and you have to make a decision. You can't just undo your children. Like, you can't just be like, oh, I don't want to be a mom. This is not for me. You can give your kids up for adoption, yeah, but you will always have kids. Like, they will always exist, and they'll probably remember you, and they may try to look for you. I think that in those cases, which are kind of extreme cases, but in those extreme cases, I feel like the kids are better off adopted. Like, if you decide like you don't want to be a mom and like you're dead ass serious and you just want to give your kid up, you're probably going to be doing them a favor in that situation. I hate to say that. I want to be like, hey, there's support, don't give up. But at this point, like, we're talking about human beings. There are times where I'm like, this sucks. I don't want to be a mom. And then I'm like, okay, I don't want to be a mom right now, but I have to be. So I will. But people who just don't change their mind, like you can have a moment where you're like, yeah, I don't want to do this shit. This is bullshit. That's okay. But if you're dedicated to like, fuck this, I don't want to do it at all, like not ever, I made a mistake, then, utilize those resources to get your kids in a space where they're in a better environment and wanted. And also, like, let's just continuously advocate for protection, birth control. Let's give our funds to agencies and doing a better job at supporting parents so that they don't have to ever get to that point. Let's just do that. And then, But yeah, there are times when with 3 kids, I'm like, yeah, nah, like, I don't want to be a mom today, but I have to. Like, sometimes I don't want to go to work, but I have to work. Sometimes I don't want to take medication, but I have to take medication. Otherwise, I will be unwell. So, like, we have responsibilities, and we have to do our best to, do the right things. But you got those small percentage of people that they just snap, and I feel like there needs to be a space where we're like, okay, here are your options. We need to have those type of conversations as well. Thankfully, there's not that many women that are truly like, I don't want this. A lot of the moms who are crashing out, they're not necessarily like, I'm done. They're just like, I believe that they're in a space where they're like, yes, I regret being a mom because XYZ, but I'm not going to neglect my responsibilities because I do love my kids. I'm not going to neglect my responsibilities because I want to do the right things. I'm not going to neglect my responsibilities because I care. I think that I truly believe in my heart, there's a lot more mothers today, modern women who are moms today, who care a great deal about their kids. And they're just having a tough time because they don't have a lot of support. And they're working their asses off, and everything is expensive. So there's that. What else? just but what really bothers me, and I'll just say this, maybe I'm a little biased and I don't mean to be, but what really bothers me is like unrealistic expectations. I can't sit here and be like, I don't have a life anymore. I've heard that. Like, people have told me, now you got kids, you don't have a life. I have a life. I have a life with my kids. We life together. I like my kids. I love my kids. And even though they're a little like out there sometimes, I am like way out there. So when it comes to being weird, I will always out weird my kids. I like kids, I love kids, and I'm so grateful that I had the privilege to actually learn the realities, that I was going to one day face. So I was expecting it. There's a difference between having that and then it's like everything's a surprise. There's going to be times where things are a surprise, man. You have to develop thick skin. That's the best I can say. Okay? So, I'm new to the game. I'm like a good 10 years in as a mom. I have a 10-year-old. I have a 2-year-old. I have a 9-month-old. I wish all of you guys the best. Let's start having these conversations. Don't feel bad if you feel like, fuck this. Like, don't feel bad if you feel that way and you're being real about it. It's understandable. We just want to have real and open conversations so that we can better ourselves, the lives that we brought into this world, and also the people in our community. I gotta go now. Bye.